We're here today with Randy Schwartz of Heartlock Health in Traverse City, Michigan. And what Randy's going to share with us is about cultured vegetables and cultured vegetables, how important they are, how we make them. So Randy, take it away. Talk to us why somebody would want to make these and why they're so beneficial to somebody's health.
Okay, well, in the intestines we have a naturally occurring, existing, healthy microflora, or bacteria that reside in our gut that help us to digest our foods and regulate our intestinal processes. In this day and age, because we have so many environmental toxins, we take antibiotics, we have chlorinated and fluorinated water, we have so many different things that interrupt the health of those bacteria. We've been developing a lot of disorders that come from that, such as Candida, which is very prevalent.
Which is a yeast imbalance between the bacteria and the yeast. So the yeast go into overgrowth, and then they call it the Great Masquerader because they can cause all kinds of problems in the health of the system. So
that's right. Yeah. So the difference between probiotic foods and probiotic pills that we find on the market is that probiotic pills are the healthy bacteria that you would find in the foods, but they've been isolated. And because they've been isolated from their natural food source, they are more delicate, more fragile, and what we're looking for is to ingest those healthy bacteria so that they take root and populate and reestablish that healthy balance in our gut. What we're trying to establish by eating the probiotic foods is that we're taking them straight from the source. They haven't been run through a centrifuge or freeze-dried. They're healthy, they're on their food source, and they pass through our digestive system unharmed, and they are able to then repopulate. And interestingly enough, the healthy bacteria actually fight the bad bacteria.
So give me some idea of different fermented foods around the world that have been used historically, and why some other cultures are healthier than us because they use these types of foods.
Yeah, when you look around the world, all of the traditional cultures had their specialty of cultured foods. In Germany, they had sauerkraut, which is fermented cabbage. In Korea, they had kimchi, which is kind of a spicy version. It's cabbage and radish and garlic and chili peppers and spices. In Japan, they had miso, which is fermented soybeans. And eating those on a regular basis means that you're going to constantly be reestablishing that healthy gut flora.
Okay. And that, when we get unhealthy gut flora, it can lead to inflammatory processes, which can lead to metabolic syndrome, and which can heart disease, cancer, diabetes, a lot of issues, a lot of the chronic diseases that people are suffering from. So does this help with the inflammation?
It does. It reduces inflammation. It produces B vitamins. The bacteria actually produce B vitamins upon digestion, and so having a healthy gut flora means that your gut is now actually a B vitamin factory, and we're all generally deficient in B vitamins, which regulates a lot of the processes in the body.
And you're saying that this helps your immune system too, so...
Yes, and it makes a lot of sense. The immune system resides almost primarily in the gut, because the way that we interact with the external world is almost primarily through the food that we ingest. All of the food that we're putting in is a way that we're interacting and taking the outside environment and putting it into our body. And so the first line of defense is right there in the gut. And having an imbalance in that system means that your immune system is then compromised and overworked. So if it's spending all of its time trying to ward off the invaders that we eat, then it's certainly not going to have enough energy to be warding off any other problems that we have systemically.
Okay, super. Well, so talk to me, what are cultured vegetables? How can people make them? And give us an example of that.
Cultured vegetables are very easy to make. This is my own personal recipe. This is red cabbage fermented with a culture starter that you can buy at many health food stores, or you can buy it online. I particularly like the Body Ecology culture starter from the Body Ecology Diet website. And it's very easy to make. Basically what you do is you shred your cabbage or other vegetables. You put them in a jar, packed down tight, filled with a brine consisting of water, a little bit of the vegetables either juiced or blended, and a little bit of a sugar starter, like a little bit of raw honey, so that the beneficial bacteria have a food source to consume. And by the time that it's done fermenting, all of the sugars in the food will have been digested. So sugar is one of the triggers for a gut imbalance, and we eat way too many sugars. So this is a way to combat sugar cravings that we all have, and to improve our health.
Okay, now insofar as the sugars you use on this, I know a lot of the listeners who are more into wellness concepts may be using things like stevia. Now, can you use stevia in this, or is that not an appropriate sugar that can be utilized?
Stevia is a sweetener. When we taste it, it tastes sweet, but it's not actually a sugar. So I wouldn't use stevia to as a food source for the beneficial bacteria to consume and thrive and grow and repopulate as they're fermenting the food. What you would be looking for is something like a natural sugar. And
agave nectar?
Agave nectar would be a good one. I like raw honey because it's really a very natural substance. It hasn't been altered. Agave is in some ways the high fructose syrup, high fructose corn syrup of the health food world, because it's very high in its fructose content.
Okay, and then how long do you need to let this sit to go through the digestion process and fermentation?
The fermentation process, it takes approximately about 5 to 7 days.
So it's pretty quick.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
The longer that you let it ferment, the softer that the vegetables are. The shorter that you let it ferment, the more crunchy that your vegetables are.
Okay.
And because you're starting out with a raw medium, it's very high in its enzyme content, which is something that we're also not consuming enough of because most of our food is cooked.
Yeah, so you get better digestion when you have the enzymes in the food.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. And then you use cabbage. What other kinds of vegetables? Kimchi or other things like that? Or
right. You can use radishes. You can use daikon. You can use carrots and beets.
Can you mix them together or make a blend?
You can mix them all together and make a blend. What's really nice about making your own cultured vegetables is if you don't like one particular recipe, you try another one. And it doesn't take very long for you to be able to make a new batch.
Okay, and then how much would you take of this a day?
I'm consuming about a quarter to a half a cup at every meal as a condiment.
Okay, great.
And because the digestive enzymes and the beneficial bacteria help you to digest and break down the amino acids from the protein, it's very, very critical to be eating cultured vegetables along with a protein meal.
Great. Well, super. Well, thanks for sharing that. Do you have anything else that you want to bring out about the benefits of it? I mean, can you use this therapeutically, or is it primarily just an ongoing digestive aid and to help the health of the intestines, or are there some people who have certain conditions that this would be an excellent therapeutic process for?
It is an excellent therapeutic aid for autoimmune diseases, anything that's related to gut health, IBS,
which is irritable bowel syndrome.
Irritable bowel syndrome. Anything that's related to immune function. My particular story, when I was 15 years old, I started developing really severe hay fever allergies. And every time the pollen season came around, I was just miserable, and it was in full effect. I'm now 35, dealing with it for about 20 years. It wasn't until I started eating the probiotic foods, cultured vegetables on a regular basis, that my allergies started to go away.
Wow.
I now, after probably about 1 or 2 months eating the vegetables, I noticed that my allergies were really, really subsiding and going away. And now, having eaten them regularly for about 1 or 2 years, I have no allergies whatsoever. I can't even remember the last time I've been sick.
Great, super. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.